And welcome back. It is episode 4 of the Heroic Dose podcast. For this week, I will be flying solo. My comrade in podcast adventure, JP, will be joining me hopefully quite soon for the next episode. For this week, though, I brought along a little special friend. She's known as L. She used to be JP and myself's band mascot while we played in Podge. So she's joining me for today, just keeping me company. But without any further ado, without any delay, let's jump into it. Let's get to the band, let's get to the album. That is, of course, why you are here. So without any further ado, let's do it. The band today I have chosen is called SOEN, a Swedish progressive metal supergroup consisting of various extreme metal artists. Their debut album Cognitive was released on February 15th, 2012. Initially formed in 2004, it was only in May 2010 that the official formation of SOEN was announced. Their original lineup consisted of former Opeth drummer Martin Lopez, ex-Death, Testament and Sadist bassist Steve DiGiorgio, Willow Tree vocalist Joe Ekelhoff and guitarist Kim Blatsbardis. The current members consist of Martin Lopez on drums and percussion, Joe Ekelhoff on vocals, Lars Ahlund on keyboard, Steven Stenberg on bass guitar, and Cody Ford on the other guitar. The group's first song, Fractions, was released on the band's official website in October 2010. I would describe their music as being heavy, intricate, and melodic prog music. They definitely draw inspiration from bands such as Tool, and I feel bands like this, you can, I guess you define them to a certain genre, but I feel the band itself can be considered as a genre. Besides that, I don't really think there's any point in arguing what type of genre it is, whether the band creates its own genre. They make good music, whether it reminds you of somebody or not. Some people tend to dislike rather than looking for the good stuff in music, if I can loosely put it like that. They seek the faults more than they do than just enjoying the album for what it is, regardless if it's good or bad. But let's get to the album for today. The album I have chosen is called LOTUS. Came out in 2019. It is a very hypnotic and poignant technical piece of art, if I can be really pretentious about this. The dynamism that permeates this LP, LOTUS, surpasses the previous trio of albums which they have released. It's filled with evocative melodies and masterful chameleonic arrangements. It's truly a stanch triumph of great feeling and ferocity overall the entire album. The band justly describes LOTUS as intoxicating, addictive oral therapies. Oral therapies. I feel it questions much of today's darkness, while at the same time juxtaposing them with moments of great escape and hope. We often tend, as I mentioned earlier, we tend to seek faults instead of finding the good and the hope that we need sometimes when going through music, going through life in general. In fact, the title, I feel, implies that there is still strength and beauty and purity to an extent that can be extracted from the times that seem like an endless cycle of human regression. Even the artwork gives us the sixth element and greater consciousness. from start to finish, SOEN excels in sparking sensations of introspective growth and existential resolutions beneath the collection's tempting instrumentations and vocals. Thus, it definitely entertains as it plays and endures long after it's finished. You're going to listen to this album, you're going to do the introspective diving, you're going to feel a little sad perhaps. And that's the point of this album, is digging deep, finding the grime and dirt within yourself, and then afterwards thinking about it, learning from it, and moving on from there, growing. And that's the power of music, and that's why we do this podcast, is because we try to expose you to the bands and the albums and the music that we listen to, that truly it enlightens something within us. It changes who you are at the end of the day. Once again, as I said, it's the power of music. Truly a wonderful tool to use in life, going through hardship and celebrating the joys. Ekelhof's compassionate performance is the main draw. His vocals are extremely good. He outdoes himself time and time again on this album, not even on this album compared to their previous albums. With every song, you see him and hear him constantly evolving, bringing something new, doing it even better than the previous song. And I know it may sound difficult to understand and really take in at this moment, but once you listen to it, you'll truly understand what I'm on about. In particular, Lascivious finds him conveying smooth dejecting during the verses and towering empowerment during the chorus. It's quite stunning as his equally luscious and transformative tales on Lotus and Penance also come through. The song Martyrs allows him to contrast this sporadic aggressiveness with crushingly serene asides, in which his multi-layered laments convey arresting sincerity around almost a melancholic electric piano chord, tumultuous syncopation, and ethereal ambience. And I know how JP enjoys his ambience, so you got it, buddy. If you're watching this, go check out this band. They're doing ambience. Their one song, Lunacy, I would say is probably the most commercially accessible track on the album in terms of Ekelhof's vocals, blending these melodies and full-bodied singing. So if you're new to the band, you're new to prog music, I would definitely recommend you go and check out the song Lunacy first, then move on to some highlight tracks of mine that I need to mention and have mentioned quickly earlier, called Lotus, Penance, and Martyrs. Truly outstanding pieces of work. That's not to say that the other four players are lacking in any way. Prog music is inherently a difficult genre to do, considering that you need to maintain a very well-balanced act. Everybody needs to contribute equally and not lose control when they're making the music. And it's tougher than it may seem, and this band absolutely accomplishes it throughout the entire EP. The album Lotus is just another terrific sequence from SOEN. Each of the four tenured players gives his all to make it as unfalteringly eloquent and as forceful as possible. Together, I personally feel that Lotus will remain a high point in the group's catalog and probably rank high on my best of 2019 album. But this has been it for the Heroic Dose podcast for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Join me next week, hopefully when JP has returned. I won't be flying solo anymore, and we'll get into the unique and wonderful creations of the bands and the albums that we love so much. You guys keep an ear out for us. We're on YouTube, we're on SoundCloud. Go check us out at the Heroic Dose podcast. You guys have a great day.